Okay, I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm sitting here in Da Nang, Vietnam, and I feel like I need to say this out loud because something really significant just happened, and I was only supposed to travel for 2 weeks. And now it's been six. And I'm not going back home anytime soon, at least not yet. And I don't know really what I'm doing or how long I'll be traveling, but I think this is exactly why I need to document this journey in my life. And it's something that's been on my heart for a while. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Katrina. Most people call me KK, and this channel is where I'm documenting what it actually looks like to live a non traditional life. No perfect timelines, no 5 year plans that magically just work out, just real life, real pivots, maybe real confusion. And if you're someone who feels like your life doesn't fit the normal path, or you've been stuck in that mental loop for way too long, or you just keep telling yourself, like, I'll do this someday. And then honestly, you're in the right place. So subscribe because this journey just got way more interesting. And I genuinely don't know where it's going. All right. So time to give you the backstory. Originally, this trip was supposed to be simple. 14 days. I had laid everything out. I was leaving mid March and coming back before the end of March. That was the plan. So I was supposed to go 2 nights in Boracay, the quick beach reset, then El Nido for a week, that insane turquoise water situation that everyone keeps posting about, then Tokyo. Japan's been on my bucket list literally forever. I don't even know, like years. And then I was supposed to come straight back home. Clean, organized, done. But life had other plans because of everything happening in the region where I live, the tensions of uncertainty, my job had moved online, which honestly made it easier for me to leave earlier than I had planned. And I had this choice to make, stay or go. And I chose to leave. And at first, I thought I'd just extend for a little bit my travel, especially in the beginning, and give myself some space to reset. But I got to this point where I realized I wasn't ready to go back yet to my house in the Gulf, and I didn't really understand what that meant at the time. But I knew I needed to listen to that decision and stay where I was in Asia. So instead of going back, I just kept going. I kept traveling. I stayed in Japan a lot longer, and then ended up here. I told myself I would just literally figure it out. But here's the thing. I didn't know what I was doing, like at all. I was so anxious about where I should go. I was uncertain. I even thought about flying to the US for a bit, but honestly, that just didn't feel right either. And Japan, don't get me wrong, Japan is incredible. It was a dream, lifelong dream that I had. But after a while, I didn't feel aligned anymore. I realized something about myself. I'm not like a city only person. I need the ocean. I need that feeling of where you can just exhale. And I wasn't getting that anymore when I was in Japan. And I remember having this moment probably around week 4, sitting in my hotel in Tokyo, just staring at my laptop and also talking to my partner, thinking, what am I actually doing with my life right now? What am I going to do? Like, part of me just wanted to go back to my routine, go back to my apartment, my predictable, safe life, and try to make it work. But then I heard something that really struck me, that every day shouldn't be a copy paste like the day before. And I realized that that's what my life had become, a copy paste of every single day. Routine isn't bad. Routine has its own beauty. But when every single day starts to look the same, you kind of stop feeling life. And now every day has literally been different. Like no 2 days have been alike while I've been traveling. They've been messy, unplanned, sometimes confusing, but also really alive. So this is where things shifted again. The person I was traveling with, my boyfriend, he had just been to Vietnam before we met up in the Philippines, and he mentioned this place called Da Nang. And honestly, I had barely heard of it until he told me about it. Like Vietnam, sure, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, I knew those. I had even visited 10 years back, but Da Nang was not on my radar. So I started searching and looking up the vibe, the cost, the time zone, and something about it just clicked for me because at that point I was craving something really specific. I needed to feel grounded again. I was starting to feel like not myself. I needed routine, help back in my life. I needed to feel like I actually was taking care of myself. In the Philippines, I felt good. I was working out here and there, eating well, feeling strong. But in Japan, I kind of lost that. And that's what happens to everybody when you travel to Japan. I needed a place where I could reset. And Da Nang just fit the bill. That decision happened so fast, like within a couple of days. And I'm not gonna lie, like that part was really stressful. Like I had to figure out the visa, book a place, get all the logistics organized, very last minute. And I remember feeling that wave of anxiety like, what are you doing? But the second I made the decision, I felt relief. Like my body just knew this is your next step. Even if you don't have it all figured out or the whole picture yet, it's gonna be okay. At the same time, like I also made the decision to to start traveling alone again. And that was emotional because when you spend, almost 6 weeks with somebody 24/7, they become part of your routine and your comfort and your safety blanket. And so stepping away from that, I felt a bit bittersweet. I was excited to have my independence again, to reconnect with myself, to have space. But at the same time, there's a part of you that's like, whoa, I'm really doing this again. And that's the different kind of feeling that I was having. But also, it was a really necessary one because I could feel myself starting to rely on him in ways that weren't totally healthy. Like, not in a bad way, just in a way where you kind of lose yourself a little bit when you're always with someone. And I needed that reconnection with me, with what I actually wanted and with who I am and no one else around. So now I'm here stunning. And I've been here just almost 2 days, just over 24 hours, but already I can feel the shift. I've been getting back to my own rhythm, doing simple things, running errands, trying little cafes. I got a massage, facial, a foot scrub, all for like $30, which is quite insane. Oh, and I got on the back of a motorcycle for the first time in my life, and I rode across the city to go buy something I needed. And those are the little moments they feel like adventures, even though they're just normal things. But that's what I love about this phase. Life just feels new again. And I can already tell that this is the kind of place where I can rebuild a routine that actually feels good for me, feels healthy, grounded, right. And I feel like this is what the whole experience has been teaching me appreciation for the fact that I even get to experience this life, the places that I've seen, the people I've met, the dreams I've had for years and I'm now actually living. Because going to Japan, a lifelong dream, going to the Philippines, same. And dummy. I didn't even know about it until like 2 weeks ago. Well, a little bit more, 2 months ago. And now I'm here living it. And it makes me realize how many things we tell ourselves, like someday thing. And then that one day just happens, but only if you and I don't feel like I'm running away from anything. If anything, I feel like I'm stepping into something I've always been curious about. This whole idea of working remotely, traveling freely, living as kind of like this digital nomad. I used to think that that life was for other people, like not me. But now I'm realizing it has always been available to me. I just had to choose it. And right now was the perfect time. And if you're watching this and you feel stuck or you feel like certain things just aren't possible for you, I need you to hear this. You have more control than you think. The life you're imagining, it's not unrealistic. It's just unfamiliar. And I get it. I used to think I wasn't brave enough, that I couldn't just leave, that I had too many responsibilities that I couldn't figure it all out, and yet here I am. And somehow everything just keeps working out. Not perfectly, not in the way I had planned, but in a way that it just needed to. So this is just the beginning, and I'm going to be sharing my life here in Da Nang, what it's like to really travel solo, highs and lows, the messy middle, all of it. So if you want to follow this journey, subscribe, tell me, have you ever taken the leap like this? Or what's stopping you? Because I read every single one of your comments, and if this resonated with you, share it with somebody who kind of needs to hear this message because I'm gonna be maybe this is their sign. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.